Hey CSC. Um, so I've been feeling avoidant of making a video about INTJs, or discussing this week's topic over them, but I feel like I have to because I have plenty of experience with INTJs. Uh, my father is an INTJ. His sister, my aunt, is an INTJ. Last week I discussed my other aunt who is an ENTJ. My grandmother, his mother, my father's mother, is an INTJ. And I have been in two relationships in the past with INTJs. So, yeah, I have plenty of experience with INTJs. And I made a video before this one that kind of like expressed a lot about more of my pain towards INTJs, to be honest, but let's try not to like put myself in this. Or I don't know, maybe I should, but anyway, there's always an attraction that I find between me and INTJs. As a 4-wing 5 ENFP, sorry, my makeup. As a 4-wing 5 ENFP, who tends to be philosophical and more deeper rooted towards value and identity and certain things like that. Um, I've always found such a amazing mental and emotional, deep, intense connection with INTJs. If we've ended up being caught at the right place and time with one another, which has always been almost consuming with the attraction. But obviously, those relationships haven't worked out, so that goes to speak for a lot of situations or variables. But ENFP INTJ relationships are incredibly stimulating, especially if the ENFP values intellect, and is very knowledge based or is interested in rationality more or almost as equal to their emotion, or as equal as possible, you know. And INTJs are really attractive to ENFPs for not only that rationalism, but also their aptitude to connect on a deep emotional level. I think that ENFPs are really attracted to that secret, gooey, gushy center, and they really like the fact that they have like a specific key to that, and really kind of being the heart center for them. Like I know with my own father, who I'm particularly close with, that I am his heart in my family. I am the heart center. I bring out the warmth, and I really love being that person for him. Though we obviously, well, not obviously, but we have our issues, and there are still dysfunctions between me and my dad, which have definitely played a role in my life, along with a lot of things. So, but what I will say is that for an ENFP INTJ relationship to succeed, there are a few things to keep in mind. Maturity, for sure, on both ends, especially with those tertiary functions, those blind spots. They're really important. So maturity. I think this is kind of weird to say, but a lack of egotism. I think that an INTJ has to be sensitive enough to not always need to feel right, and an ENFP needs to not be selfish sometimes and consider what's best, or consider at least consider objectivity and the like rules and systems of the relationship, or what it takes to actually like stick to it. On the other hand, what I've always valued about INTJs is that because I tend, like I mentioned in my ENTJ video, I tend to have struggle implementing my goals and finding the right structures. INTJs really help pave the path for me. Actually, my spiritual mentor right now, who I'm studying the Bible with, has tested ENTJ, but I actually think she's an INTJ. She might be ENTJ. Her name's Martina, but I don't know. I think she's an INTJ, and I was amazed because I thought she was INFP, and that's pretty common too. INTJs sometimes end up seeming INFP, so kind of interesting how that happens sometimes. But yeah, they always sort of fill in the gaps for me because I'm really bad at that. And I think for them, I always, as an ENFP, tend to build and help them build their moral, ethical, or even just like, not even that. I think it's always just been, they always have strong morals, actually, the ones I've dated. Some haven't, but the ones I've dated were always like, had those few core values that they were just like super tight on and like super rigid with, actually, which was too much for me. But I think it's the fact that I'm, as a 4, very influenced in growth and self-discovery, and with NTJs and INTJs in particular, there's a kinship in helping the other discover that. So, I don't know, I kind of want to make, well, maybe I'm imposing this or forcing this, but I just want to say that I do recognize that INTJs and ENFPs are considered first-tier relationships, and of course it's acknowledged that individual experiences create subjectivity to that, meaning just because it's a first-tier relationship doesn't mean it's really best for what you want or need as a person. I think that one of the biggest issues is if you don't have the maturity, or if you don't, as a human being, besides type, honestly, just besides type, if you don't have the right human compatibility for the kinks and edges of the other, the way that an INTJ grows versus an ENFP could be incredibly grating and conflicting, honestly, to the needs of the other. But that's why I said I think that you need to have like a strong, I feel like, spiritual thing. At least this is my opinion, because that the faith and courage of that encourages that those gritting differences in those points of tension to for each partner to hold on and to like have hope and faith in the fact that their relationship is okay, and that they're okay, and that they could have acceptance and love and faith in the other. Because I think that it could be a real pain sometimes, and challenging. So, final note, I have no idea what my own relationship is to INTJs at this point, but I will say I have a deep love, or I don't even know, who knows with them, who knows, but clearly there is a sort of pain for me with INTJs, so for any INTJs on YouTube who end up watching this, I'd be curious what your thoughts or experiences are, or ENFPs for that matter. So that's an aside from CSC, but thanks for watching my video, and I will talk with you next week, I guess,